Hi there, this is Dave Nguyen of the Tissue Spatial Geometrics Lab. In this video, we will talk about how to run this script, which does PCA on data that is vectorized matrices of either the DCI or PCI. First, let's talk about the structure of the CSV file that needs to be inputted into this script. This script was meant to work on the CSV file that was produced by one or two other scripts. If you go to our lab website, tsg-lab.org, you click on the glycobioalgorithms tab and go down to the post-processing scripts section. Today's script is meant to work on the outputs of this script, vectorizing PCI matrices or vectorizing DCI matrices. You can find those scripts by clicking on the GitHub links. They're this one and this one. So once you have the CSV file outputted by one of these two, you can load that one into this script. Before we do that, this script produces two CSV files. The first one will have the suffix called first three PC values. The second one will have the suffix loading plot data.csv, and I'll explain why. In addition to these two CSV files that you will produce in the same folder that contains your input file, it will produce three graphs that you can copy and paste for your records. First, let's load the libraries, the dependencies, and I'm assuming that you have these installed or know how to install them. Next, what you got to do is you have to paste in the file path. Now, the GitHub repository that contains this script will also have practice files, these files here. One is from DCI matrices, the other is from PCI matrices. This is what the vectorized PCI matrices look like for 4 glycans, and this is what the vectorized DCI matrix looks like for 4 glycans. So these are your practice inputs. Both of them can be inputted into our PCA script. So what you will need to do is copy the file path of this folder, and then you paste it here between the quotation marks so that it's a string. So you can run that to make sure that the folder exists. And then you have to paste in the name of the CSV file that's in that folder. In this case, let's start with the PCI one. Here's a shortcut. You can click on the file here and press the return key once, and it goes in editing mode. You can then just do Command C or Control C to copy it. Then you can go back here, highlight what you want to replace, okay, and then paste. Make sure to have the .csv as part of the name. Once that's done, you can just click Run All. And by the way, I'm running this Jupyter Notebook in Visual Studio Code. It works the same way if you're running it in Jupyter Notebook. Now that we've run it, let's go scroll down. First key point, I want to point out that this PCA script does robust scaling, meaning it does median centering on the data. Because the range of values within the matrices can vary widely from 0 to very large numbers, near up to 100, depending on how complex the glycan is. Therefore, to be safe, we choose median centering as the scaling method. Here, the PCA is complete, and the script saves the PC values with this suffix right here. It's this file right here, first three PC values. I made sure the script outputted this file so that you can plot the data in 3D using any 3D software you want. We have a separate script that does interactive 3D plotting on this data, and a tutorial that goes with that script. Notice that the script takes the name of the input file and uses it as the base of any file that it produces. It just adds this suffix to it. So here, under the 3D scatter plot section, here's a 3D scatter plot. It's a static one, meaning you can't rotate it and things like that, which is why I had the script pump out this file. So you can replot it in a 3D software that is interactive. Next is the scree plot section. Here's the scree plot showing the variances explained by each of the principal components. And graphs like this, you can copy and paste or click and drag into other software. Now, in the PCA by plot section, I have it plot the first two PCs, and this is what it looks like. And the biplot contains the dots and the arrows, which is called the loading plot. Now, because the arrows can be small and very jumbled, I made sure to include a block of code that graphs only the feature loadings, that is the arrows, so you can see more clearly which feature is closest to the x-axis, which is PC1, and which one's closest to the y-axis, which is PC2. And because even in this loading plot, you see a lot of features, that is the rows in your input data, a lot of them overlap, and so which is why I had a block of code that saves the loading data, the data that gave you this plot, as a separate CSV file, so you can plot that in a separate script. So here it is, loading plot data. I made sure the script pumps out this CSV file so that you can load it into another script I have that will allow you to generate a plot like this, but then define which ranges you want on each axis to see. Meaning if you want to see only the arrows right here, then you can limit the x-axis to be -1 to +1, and you can limit the y-axis to be between +0.2 and -0.2. And what it does is it gets rid of all the other arrows and only shows you what arrows are here, so you can clearly see the labels of these arrows. And that's it. In summary, this script takes in data from two other scripts that vectorize either the PCI matrices or the DCI matrices. It generates two output files, the first three PC values for 3D plotting, and the loading plot values for you to view the loadings more carefully. And it pumps out several figures that you can copy and paste into other software, such as the scree plot, the biplot, and the loading plot.